it wasn't just about reinforcing a color stereotype or a caste stereotype or a class stereotype. It was also about reinforcing a gender stereotype. Did you ever feel like you weren't doing the right thing or a sense of responsibility? And my question to Piyush is, would you ever refrain from taking on a product that you felt you were sending out a message that wasn't being responsible because you are reinforcing stereotypes that exist within society and you would not like to promote that message?
Michael's a nuisance. Your question is, fair and lovely. Can't hear me? Okay. Raise it up a volume. Can I hear you without the mic? Go in this hall. The mics are just reverberating. My mic volume down, will you? Hello? Okay. Yeah? Good? Yeah. All right. Are you saying that if you could just repeat your question off mic, because I can hear you from this distance. I couldn't understand what you were saying. It was reverberating so much. Yeah, no. I never thought of it as a gender stereotype at all. And gender stereotype of fair and handsome is countered that anyway. What do you mean gender stereotype? Huh? Yeah. Fair, yeah, I know fair and lovely. No, never. I thought that if women wanted to look fair, did we have a product which was telling the truth? That was the first thing. And that is something that I've always believed, that if a client comes with a product and says it can do this, I say prove it. And they proved it. They proved it very clearly, and the Sunliver did. And then I said, well, I know that anyone who wears a powder on their face, as the whole of South India does, as you know, they do it to look fairer. Why do they want to look fairer? Because somehow or the other it seems to give them confidence. And that is something that people have forgotten. It's all very well to say that, oh, you're promoting fair people against dark people. No. It says that if you want confidence and you don't want bad breath, then you brush your teeth with this toothpaste. It says if you don't want underarm odor, you use a deodorant and so on. So all these are confidence-inspiring brands and products. They're not meant to be gender this or gender that. If you say now in today's world, women have become very conscious that they're being told that unless they're fair, they would never have a chance in any area. I would say all Fair and Handsome, which just now is a brand, I would say Fair and Handsome says that if you want to be confident and you think fairness will give you confidence, use our brand. That's all. Simple as that.
Yeah. I think by and large, if anything is legal in this country, if it is legal to sell, if it is legal to market, I would definitely not say no. But if somewhere down the line, somewhere inside me troubles me, I will lean back on the how, which I talked about earlier. The only thing that I don't do is political advertising. Don't ask me why.
I just wanted to draw attention to one of the ads one admired so much was about Raymond's. I don't know if anybody among you did that, but it was about going against the image of, let's say, man in terms of macho-ness. And here it's like promoting a complete man, which is going against the macho image, and it's promoting, and I guess it is going along with the social grain, I guess, probably taking it a step forward. And also again about Femina, which is talking about woman of substance, where it's not again about appearance, but about being a person, a better person, or a substance. So it is kind of promoting something which is against the glamour and against the superficialness and getting more into, let's say, character and quality. Would you like to say something about that?
Brahma, Aggie, why don't you take one?
I mean, you know what Piyush said also. I'm not understanding. What I don't understand is many times these questions come up about advertising's role in society. And I do not know why the responsibility of improving, curing, or putting society in a particular direction is thrust on advertising alone. Because I can't understand a country where there is a law that says you can make it, you can package it, you can sell it, and you can price it, but you can't advertise it, because that's wrong. So I think we should say, should we stop making these things or make these things? Because it's a case of killing the messenger, really. If it's allowed to be made, it should be allowed to be advertised, or it should not be made at all. And the same thing with, with which he asked me earlier, which is Femina, like you said, promotes anti-glamour, or there is a certain set of right moral values created by society to live by. For some reason, whenever I sit in discussions like this, the responsibility for upholding those values falls on the advertising industry. And I do not understand why it can't be asked in a banking forum. Or one can't be, I mean, the biggest responsibility is with the politicians too, and why it can't be asked there.
No, I would like to counter this actually and offer a counter view on this. I think the reason why it is asked, that question is asked, is because it is asked of cinema, and then cinema has the same lament. Why do you ask us, poor us? If you ask them of politicians, politicians will say, but this is a larger social problem and we are just part of that larger social, reality. Advertising is asked that question because advertising, over and above the product, has a product of its own, which is its representation. That representation belongs in the public space. Everyone sees it, is affected by it. They have a right to ask that question. I do not understand why the advertising industry should be defensive if that question is asked. That you may not answer that always to everybody's satisfaction, but surely people have a right to challenge what is in the public domain. What's wrong with that?
But
can we, there's a whole lot of hands.
If I can very quickly respond to what you're saying. When you talk about something going against the grain, I mean, it is his, who's, right? So there are women of glamour, there are women of substance, there are the complete man, there is the macho man who may not be complete. So these are widening reference points. I think the trick here is to be able to spot an emergent trend. Sometimes you could be smoking dope and say the world is going to change and it doesn't change. Sometimes it changes for a small segment. So I mean, I think when people go against the grain, the trick is to be able to figure out whether you are the Messiah and you're seeing something no one else sees, or whether you're just smoking dope.
Yeah, this is taking off from something Mr. Dias said about social media. So do you all feel that with the rise of social media and the advertising sphere in recent years, and because there's more of a two-way communication now between the brand and consumers and potential consumers, and because now, in a sense, it makes everyone fellow content creators, do you feel there's now more truth in the whole advertising industry, there's more truth in branding and everything, since we are right now talking about whether there's lies? So is there more truth because there's social media and now there's this two-way communication and everyone is kind of getting involved in the whole process?
I just want to say personally, I wonder, this whole idea of source credibility, when you have everybody on the social media putting an opinion there, I think source credibility is completely confusing now. So that's really my short answer. Everybody has an opinion, you don't know where they come from, you don't know what they represent.
Yeah, even on social media, that truth could be manufactured if you want. So I don't know whether there is more truth now because there's greater exposure. There's probably more things to manipulate than you used to manipulate before. It may be untrue that there is more truth now. It may be possible that there is more manipulatable lies also out there. It's very difficult to tell.
Wow, that's a cynical, that is a certainly overall, I think that's a dark view coming of social media from this dais.
All right, so I'm really sorry to interrupt the entire conversation, but we just have time left for a couple of more questions, out of which the first question is from my side. if, so just going off tangent as to the topic, whether it's about truth and lies, like Mr. Padamsi said that, you know, at times you have to do a lot of research before you get into advertising. So my question would be for Mr. Pandey. Sir, we had Hutch. We had this dog following a boy everywhere that he went. And then Hutch changed into Vodafone. Now, what research did your company do to come up with Zuzus?
See, the best work, first of all, let me compliment you that you've kept the best mic for yourself. Vodafone does not do research. That's why the advertising is so bloody good. It was between the people at Vodafone or Hutch, whatever you call them, and people at Ogilvy, and their understanding of the DNA of the brand Hutch and to take it smoothly into that of Vodafone was the trick. If you looked at what Vodafone was internationally and what Hutch Vodafone did out here are two different things. It just took the soul of a very popular brand called Hutch, took some of the values of Vodafone, and in my career, I have never seen a smoother transition ever. So it is not based on research, and Alec gave me some credit earlier for research. I disown it. I do not believe in research at all.
And so since we're talking about this, now the brand of Zuzu has been relaunched with the entire thing. Now, we started in IPL season 2, if I'm not mistaken. And after that, there was a huge fan following of Zuzu. And then, you know, there's one time then it becomes, okay, Zuzus have done their part. And we moved into something else. Now, Vodafone is back with the Zuzus. So is it because...
No, you haven't looked at the details. Zuzu property is used only for IPL. So there are 4 properties that Vodafone runs simultaneously. There is the boy and dog. There is value-added services, which is Zuzus. There is HNI with those caricatures. And there is low-cost thing, which they have done with Irfan Khan. So there are 4 parallel things run for a 4-pronged communication package.
Thank you. All right, so last couple of questions.
Yeah, is this what? Okay, my question is about ads which get banned. Now, I've had the dubious distinction of starting to model now at this age, and my very first ad got banned. And this was the green laminate ad, Desh Ko Bachana Hai, I'm sure you remember it. There was a parliament scene, and you know, we were looking at the green laminate and saying, wow, you know, this is how we want to improve the exterior and interior of the politicians or whatever. And after a few, in fact, within a month, the channels politely declined to show the ad. In brackets, read banned. So how do you cope with an ad which is banned? In this case, it was put up on social media sites and on the internet. In the past, how did you cope with ads which got banned, if they got banned?
See, it's your sheer bad luck when ads of this kind get banned. I have coped with a lot, and I'll narrate a story to you. I had done an ad for a male underwear where a panty flies. There are no people in this ad, and flies and comes and rests on a clothesline next to a male underwear. And after a while, I got a call saying, you got to take this ad off. I said, why should I take this ad off? They said, you can't show things like this. I said, you had a problem earlier when people were shown in underwear. So I took the people out. Now, if you have a problem, I'll take the underwear out and put the people there. So you got to live and learn and live with it.
Yeah, it's the same thing we did with ASCII, as I told you, with the Kama Sutra. They actually not only banned it, questions were asked on the House floor of Parliament, saying, what is this advertising? What is India coming to? This was in 1990, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I said, as I told you, once you tell them the truth, and you also make a comment about, an amusing comment, they get so embarrassed that they don't come back. So we ran the ad, though they had sent us a letter, don't run the ad. I said, okay, if you don't want to run the ad, then you'll have to give us a reason why. They couldn't give a reason why. And so when I said the business about what are condoms for, blowing balloons, and everyone felt terribly embarrassed and they couldn't go forward. And so the whole matter was dropped, and that is how Kama Sutra and now sexy advertising for all condoms seems to be, the rule rather than the exception. It depends on how you tackle it. If you go to the truth, what does your product do? Are you using imagery that maybe Kama Sutra was using actual excerpts? The original campaign was using excerpts from the actual Kama Sutra. And by the way, for those who are fighting for gender equality, though it was aimed at men, the excerpts we took from the Kama Sutra were only to do with the pleasure of women. All the excerpts we took had to do with the pleasure of women. That means, in other words, men wake up. It's not only your bed, it also belongs to your lover. And it was all about how women could